All right. Thank you, everybody, for attending this episode of our RUPES C.O.R.E series webinar. I'm Jason Rose. We're broadcasting live from Denver, Colorado in the United States. And this webinar is going all over the world right now. We have several hundred attendees at the moment. But I would like to welcome you to this episode. Now, our topic, which is all-in-one products. We are going to really explain this topic and the subcategories of this particular product category, and then feature our new RUPES Uno Protect. But with me, this is a simulcast. We're live here in Denver, Colorado, but my colleague in Milan, Italy, Fabrizio, is also with us.
Hello, everybody from Milan, Italy, and welcome to this podcast also from my side.
So together we will be presenting this topic to you. And as I mentioned, this is our C.O.R.E series, which is an acronym that stands for Continuous Online RUPES Education. And we appreciate you attending this webinar. We are going to walk you through the webinar controls. So to operate this particular webinar on your side, you will see a little window with the presenters, either Fabrizio or myself. Then we also have the content, which should be in the middle of your screen, as well as you can change that to full screen mode by operating that little icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Then you can also ask questions. Now, the Q&A icon at the bottom, you can ask a question at any time. We've got Dylan and Mattia in the background operating controls, and you can ask your question at any time during the webinar. We will, however, have a dedicated question and answer session at the end of this presentation where we will interact with you and answer questions that you have submitted. Someone might actually answer your question during the webinar, but we will have that session at the end verbally. And then there's also, at the lower part of your screen, a chat box where you can enter in comments and questions. Well, actually, don't put your questions there, but you can enter comments. If you have a question, please put it in the Q&A box. And then there is the raise your hand icon, and that simply lets us know that you want some attention. This is a one-way presentation, so at the end, we might have interaction with some people. But there's your webinar controls. If you want to exit the webinar, that is in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. It says leave the meeting, and then you can exit as you wish. Now, the other way to view this webinar is on your phone. And if you are on your phone, the controls are a little different. So the audio control is in the upper left-hand corner that adjusts your volume. Then there is the content in the middle, and the presenters is in that little box, upper right-hand corner. I believe you can move that around, but you may not be able to enlarge it. And then the chat box and the Q&A icon are both on the lower part of your screen on your phone. There is the raise hand icon there as well. And then, of course, you can exit the webinar when we're done in the upper right-hand corner of your phone. So tap the screen to flip the content or the presenter view. So if you'd like to see Fabrizio or myself larger, you can just click on the content and it will switch from the slides to the presenter view. So with that, we have given you all the webinar controls, and we can begin with our topic. So the flow of this information is going to go like this. So we will define what we mean by the all-in-one product segment. And we'll also talk about the quote-unquote wax category. So the word wax is used a lot, and we'll define what we mean by that. And then we're going to transition from an explanation and a study of the protectant category into our specific RUPES product, the Uno Protect So this will be part educational on the category, but also part presentation about our product. We'll also go through application method and the recommended way to use our new RUPES Uno Protect product. So with that, we will jump right into this agenda, and we will actually begin by talking about terms. So we'll talk about the actual terms that are used when we talk about products like this. So there is this word used called a one-step, and the one-step is sometimes referred to as a product that does paint protection and defect removal and gloss all in one step. But also, one step is a term used for paint correction. So it could also mean one-step paint correction without protection. So whenever we use the words one step, we have to define and clarify what we're talking about. And then next is this phrase called an all-in-one. And all-in-one products, they remove defects, they gloss and shine up the paint, and they lay down protective qualities all in one application. So this is the true one step. This is an all-in-one application, and it involves defect removal, glossing up the paint, and protection. And then there's this other word that is used that is called a cleaner wax. And the cleaner wax is kind of an older term that also means the same thing as all-in-one product. So it's just kind of an older word to describe an all-in-one. So this cleaner wax product, if you're using those words, it would mean removing defects, glossing up the paint, and laying down protection on the paint. And then finally, we have this last step product, or LSP. This is also a term used primarily on the internet, but this means that it is the final product that the technician or the user has applied to the paint. So this last step product could be a polish, it could be a wax, it could be a polymer sealant, but LSP, or last step product, means simply whatever the last thing you put on the paint. That is what those words mean. So with those terms defined, we will look at the wax category, and the word wax is broadly used and used by many people, but it means different things to different people. So we will go into this wax category, this protection category, and we will define the different ways that protection can be viewed in the category. So firstly, we will look at what's called natural waxes. Now, these are products that primarily contain organic plant or animal materials. It's natural wax solids. So this is a product category that's been around for a long, long time. And it is carnauba, montane, or beeswax. Those are different examples of these natural solid wax materials that have been laid on paint for many, many decades. But this is one way to look at the protection category by way of natural waxes. Another subcategory in the protection area is called synthetic waxes. Now, these are man-made synthetic ingredients. They're typically longer lasting, more durable than the natural wax products. But these are often cross-linking polymers that bond to the surface and lay on that paint for a lot longer time. With that, there is another product that is a blended product that is called polishing waxes. And this can be natural waxes or polymers, but they are blended with polish. So these are polishing oils, polishing ingredients, and the intention with this product is that it really glosses up the paint, really shines up the paint, but also lays down protection. Now, the expectation of polishing waxes is that they do not remove a lot of defects. Their primary intention is to create gloss and clarity and lay down some wax. With that, we move into this other subcategory called cleaner waxes. This is the all-in-one product that we have been talking about and the topic of today's webinar. Now, this product is expected to remove defects. The level of defect removal is a variable, and it depends on the formula and other paint variables, but the expectation is that this product will remove defects, it will shine up the paint, and it will lay down paint protection, either in the form of natural waxes or cross-linking polymer sealant, or both. It could be a blend. And then finally, to round out this protection category, there is what's called paint coatings or nano coatings or ceramic coatings. These are much longer lasting, much more durable protection applied to the top of the paint. Very advanced formulas with complex chemistry, and the durability is really measured in months and years. This product has the expectation of being the most durable, longest lasting protection in the category. Now, many of these products can be formulated in a paste form or a cream or a sprayable liquid product. It just depends on the intended application method of the product. Now, the final thing we'll say about these descriptions of the subcategory in the whole protection area is that our new RUPES Uno Protect product actually lives in different parts of these subcategories. So our new Uno Protect can be considered in multiple categories, including natural waxes, synthetic waxes, and cleaner waxes, polishing waxes. So all of those subcategories, the Uno Protect is actually considered in those categories. Now, we will further explain this product, and you'll understand why it lives in all those different subcategories. So with that, what I will do now is I will actually transfer controls over to my colleague in Italy. Fabrizio will take it from here.
Yes, here I am. Thank you, Jason, for this very thorough and interesting introduction about the category of products that we have for what concerns protection and everything that we apply on a paint to give more durability, for giving a better aspect during time. Quite a crowded family of products. We have many products in these categories that come from all of our competitors. It was not easy to do something different. It was not easy to propose on the market something that could be unique. But I think that we were able to do that. And now I will try to explain you why I am confident and positive that we achieved a great result with this product. Now, the first thing is we have a one-step product. Usually, this category is quite commonly named also all-in-one or three-in-one, cutting, finishing, and protecting all together. Uno Protect does more than just that. It's a product that, of course, removes the effect because it contains many abrasives, fine abrasive, but very, very modern, technologically advanced. So a product that is able to remove medium to fine defects. It is able to create a very good gloss. We have carnauba wax inside, we have natural waxes inside. They give a very depth of color, a very good shine and gloss. Oops. Then we have also a very sleek and smooth surface, thanks again to the waxes, but also to the silicones. We will see very well the silicones in a few minutes, but this is something that we have inside the product that gives sleek to the touch. And we have protection given by polymers that we have inside the formulation that can remain on the surface and give protection effect for up to 90 days, which is something really important. And we will also see how to give this protection for the longest time possible. We will give a couple of tips on how to protect the car and the surface and the paint for longer, as long as possible. What is uno? What does uno mean? Uno means one. In Italian, uno is one. Why we call this product uno? Well, it's not the only product that we called uno. There is another one on the way, and in the future there will be many others. In the RUPES range of products, uno will be the name for all those products that can be used not only with one kind of polisher, but with the three different movements. And I am talking about random orbital, gear-driven, and rotary. So this is the reason why we called it uno, because it's one product for all the three different movements of the polishers. But this is also very important. This product can be also applied by hand. See, this is one further option and feature that is very important and very convenient. Not only, it's also very versatile. We can apply Uno Protect with all tools and all pads. All means we have different options. Changing the pad that we decide to use, we change the behavior of the product, we change the features of the product, we change the result that we get from the product. So just to make everything very clear and very simple, we have we suggest 4 different options. The first one is the coarse blue DA wool. I hope most of the people here are familiar with this 4 pads, but this I'm talking about the dual action wool pad, very appreciated. This is the coarser one, the one that is most able to remove deeper defects, and also with Uno Protect, this pad is able on especially on hard paints having medium to severe defects. You can achieve a good result in only one step. The probably most used pad with Uno Protect is instead the medium DA wool, the yellow pad with wool. This is very comfortable to use, giving very good results on medium to hard paints, on medium defects. Slightly less cut than with the previous one, but with a better finish and with a better user comfort. Then we have the fine yellow foam pad. Of course, we are moving on a finishing side of the job. So with the yellow foam pad, we work on medium to soft paints, even fresh paints, and with a very good and fast defect removal on medium to fine defects, and also for haze or just for some hologram removal if you have done a first step with the rotary. The white foam is mainly just to give more shine, more gloss, to remove the imperfections, all the very fine micro marring, very good in terms of finish, but of course we lose most of the cutting power of the product. So depending on which pad you decide to use, you can really change the behavior of the product and get the result you actually are looking for and you're eager to achieve. Let's go with the features and benefits of this product. Now, the first one is inside we have a blend of natural waxes, mainly carnauba and beeswax, and together we also have high-tech synthetic polymers. So the first category, the natural waxes, are more intended to give a better gloss, a better color depth, to increase the aspect of the product. The second one instead is to achieve a better durability of the protection up to 90 days. So this is a very important feature. The second one is, okay, we have this polymer technology which gives a very good beading effect, which is something our customers are looking for every time they want to see the big drops of water on the surface, and you can achieve this with Uno Protect. Then we also have ultra advanced abrasives for a fast paint correction. And then we also have a very super easy wipe off. This is incredibly easy. I challenge you to try it. It's my favorite feature of the product. Very easy thanks to the silicone that is inside the product, which makes a very fast, easy wipe off and very smooth result, and no risk to create scratches when we are wiping off. No dust. It's a very low dusting product, almost dust free. And the formula, this is originated in Italy, made in Italy. We are owner of the product. We produce the product. It's a made in Italy product. So don't look for a similar product from our competitors, because it's exclusive for us, for RUPES. Who is the intended user of this product? Well, there are several categories. This product was created mainly for customers who want to do a good, acceptable to good to very good result with short time and short effort and low effort. High volume production detailing. People who cannot spend 2-3 days on a car, 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, 3 hours, not more, 2-3 cars a day, then this is the product. Another example is vehicle auctions. Of course, we have to save money. This is the product. Very competitive in terms of price, but very effective in terms of results. Then we also have new and used car dealership. So all categories who need to do a quick job in short time, saving money, but giving to the customer the result that he is wanting, that he is looking for. Reconditioning center, this is another example. Car washes with the brushes, we know they create the scratches, but after that, many times there's someone waiting outside with a polisher in hand, few dollars or euros or whatever it is, the local currency, very quick job of polishing, this is the product. Another example is anyone who wants an express paint correction service. Okay, this is the kind of customer for this product, the kind of user for this product. Who should not use this product, or better, who is not this product recommended for? Well, there are two main examples. The first is every job that needs a multiple step, because we have deep scratches, we need several steps because we also want to correct deep scratches, but we also want a very good finish. Well, this is not the product. Then we have Zephyr and Ceramic, or the A-Course, the A-Find, which is coming up, and in a few days, weeks, we will have a webinar on that. This is not the product. Not completely, because actually what we have seen, especially in the southern part of Europe and in other countries where detailing is not very common, there are many body shop painters that use this product after a first cutting compound step. So cutting with a DA course or with a rotary course compound, and finishing with Uno Protect to have at the same time finishing and protection. Another example where this is not at all recommended is before the application of a ceramic coating. We have waxes, we have polymers, we have intentional fillers that remain on the paint after the job. This is something we don't want when we prepare the coating, prepare the paint before the coating application. So we have another product that is coming up right in these days. The name is Uno Pure. That's perfect for that. This is not, okay? So this is when the job is finished. You don't do anything else after Uno Protect. How about painters? How about body shop? How about people who is painting? The product is a body shop safe product. I want to make it clear. What does this mean? What is the explanation of these three words, body shop safe? Well, it's easy, quite easy to understand. It's a product that can be safely used by body shop. but what we have silicones. I said that there's silicone inside. So how can this product be body shop safe? Well, body shop safe is often misunderstood. People get it wrong because a lot of people think that if there is silicone, then the product is not safe for body shop. If there is not silicone, then it is safe. No, this is not the truth. This is not what is exactly the meaning of these three words. There are products with silicone, but that are body shop safe nonetheless. This is an example. Why? Because when we say silicone, we don't really mean something. We mean a very broad category of chemicals. It's like saying there's a tree in a garden. Okay, which kind of tree? Is it a fir? Is it a pine? Is it an oak? We don't know that. So silicone is not a precise category of chemicals. It's a very big family of chemicals, but we need to understand which kind of silicone we have inside the product. For example, we have airborne or sprayable products that contain silicone. These silicones start to float in the air. They can move from one place, for example, where we are polishing, to another place where we are painting. In that case, we might have issues. Normally, they are called fish eyes, which means there are some kind of holes inside the paint, and they are a big defect and a big problem for the painters. This product, the product that contain non-volatile silicone, then they are safe. As long as I prepare correctly the surface that I'm going to spray, I need to just to panel wipe that. I just need to degrease, but then I don't need any particular attention because the product is body shop safe. So even though we have silicone inside the product, and I told you why we have it, because it gives you a sleek effect to the touch, because it makes the wipe off much easier. So these are the main reasons why we have silicone, but this silicone is not going to interfere with the painting process. This is important. Good. Let's go to the next slide, how to apply the product. So we are going very practically on how to apply UnoProtect on the paint, and we will go through all the different steps. First, very important, shake the product. More than normal compounds or polish, this needs to be shaken well, because we have waxes, we have silicones, we have abrasives, we have a lot of different ingredients, more than an average compound. And especially waxes and silicones and polymers, they tend to float and they tend to go up to the surface. And abrasives, they tend to settle down at the bottom of the bottle, So we need to shake it very carefully. This is very important, because if we want to have an even action from the product, from the top of the bottle from the top to the bottom of the bottle, then we need to shake the product very carefully. This is important. Then we select the pad, and this we already have seen how we have different options, different solutions. We will choose the one we prefer according to the kind of results that we need. Then we apply on the surface of the pad even coating, an even layer of compound of UnoProtect. We can help ourselves with the glow pad tool on, especially on fiber pads, because in that case it's a bit more difficult to make a smooth and even layer. But somehow we need to achieve that. And then we apply an area of about 6 times the pad. This is nothing new. This is normal, especially if we use a random orbital polisher. 6 times the pad, going up and down, going right to left sometimes. And this is, you can see from the video, a normal, very standard kind of application. Nothing new, nothing different. Only probably the only tip that I can tell you about this product is we have silicones. Silicones are lubricants. So sometimes it prevents the perfect action from the abrasives. So my suggestion is to push a little bit more on the head of the tool than with a normal compound. A bit more pressure than usual. Then, also this is very important, point number 5, allow a few minutes of dwell. Let the product on the paint for a few minutes, or for some minutes, or even for many minutes, the more the better, we might say. In this way, some minutes, the product, the waxes, the polymers will have time to bind to the surface, to link to the surface, and to remain there when we wipe it off. So when we wipe off, we take out the residues, but we don't remove all the protectants that will remain in the surface in more quantity, and it will be more durable, the protection. One thing, many times I do it, Jason does it, also many of our customers do it, do the whole car and then do the whole cleaning. In this way, we leave the product for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. In this way, we have a better result and a more efficient process. Also, one thing, wait before you put the car outside, especially if it's raining, wait some hours. We suggest usually 4 hours before rain gets on the surface. In this way, also the durability of the protection will be longer. So when we say up to 90 days, what we mean is not that it can be 30 or it can be 90. We mean that if the product is properly applied, properly maintained, then it will last for 90 days. Of course, if we apply it in a wrong way, not following the 6 tips that we have seen in this slide, we might have some issues and the durability of the product could shrink down. This said, I think I said everything that was up to me. I will hand the line over to Jason, and I think we will talk again at the end of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fabrizio. That was a very thorough, really, really good explanation of our new UNO Protect product, how to apply it, the features and benefits. We have also in this webinar already discussed the protection category for paint and the different types of protection products. So what we will go to now is some additional application tips for UNO Protect. And in the interest of efficiency, which of course we all are interested in, and this is how to apply UNO Protect in a very fast and efficient manner. So one recommendation, as Fabrizio has already mentioned, and that is to apply the UNO Protect product over the entire vehicle, then come back and wipe off the wax residue. This is a suggestion that will give you the best and easiest, fastest wipe off, but it will also allow the dwell time on the paint for the product to do the cross-linking with the polymer. Another tip for success is to apply to a fully dry vehicle. So any water that is dripping from the cracks or the crevices, this could possibly interfere with the polymer doing its proper cross-linking. So this particular polymer system in this product does not like the moisture during the curing process. So we recommend that you fully dry the vehicle, use compressed air, whatever you need to do to fully make sure the vehicle is dry before you apply UNO Protect. And then after UNO Protect is applied, then you wipe the residue off. It is best to let that vehicle be moisture-free for the next 4 hours. Now, of course, this is a recommendation only if possible, given your environment and the situation with the vehicle. But if it's possible, for the next 4 hours after application, just try your best to get no rain, no moisture, no washing, no nothing, no moisture on that vehicle. The polymers will cross-link very thoroughly and have the longest possibility of protection. Now with that, we have some other tips and that is to apply the product as thin as possible, thin and even across the paint surface. If the product is applied very thickly or very uneven, then there's a possibility that you might need 2 different microfiber towels to fully wipe the residue off. This is also the case for very high humid environments, and you might need a 2-towel wipe off. So 1 towel for the initial wipe, a second dry towel for another wipe, and that will remove the residue thoroughly in this condition with moisture. The other recommendation here is to identify the product as a standalone 1-step solution for removing defects, shining up the paint, and laying down wax protection, but also to clarify that the product, Uno Protect, could actually be used as a second step in a 2-step process. For example, very severe defects or very hard paint where you want to use a compound first. So there'll be a compound first step to remove defects. Uno Protect could actually be used as a very good second step in that process. It will refine the paint from the first step, it will create more gloss, and it will lay down that wax protection all in that second step. So the third point on this slide is to say that Uno Protect could also be applied by hand. And this is a good option if you have very, very soft paint or haze-prone paint where machine application might be causing a haze. The hand application is, of course, a good option. And this is another way to use the product. Additional recommendations for efficiency and for success with this product is that as Fabrizio mentioned earlier, Uno Protect is truly universal across tool movements and tool types. So ideally, the product is applied for best performance expectation with our large orbit dual action random orbital system. And the product could also be applied with our Miele gear driven orbital polisher. And this will give it a bit of boost of defect removal. But in this application with this particular type of movement, you would want to put a little bit additional pressure down on the tool if you have severe defects. So with the Miele gear-driven tool, the pressure actually pushes this forced movement into the paint and removes more defects in the one Uno Protect step. The product can also be applied by rotary, and this is a common method for auctions or high volume reconditioning facilities where literally they are detailing hundreds of cars. So this is another option for Uno Protect to be applied with a rotary. Now the recommendation here, keep the pad as flat as possible, move the tool around with increased arm speed, and do light pressure, not heavy pressure. This will give you a good application with the least amount of swirl marks or holograms possible. So with that, we want to also move into talking about some specific performance results about the product. Now, those of you that have used it will agree that it has amazing results in one-step application. Now, this particular vehicle, which was done at our RUPES Academy in Denver, Colorado in the United States, this was a F-150 full-size truck, 1 year old, but still relatively new, 12,000 miles on it. But it had the typical car wash marks. So we would describe this as mild to moderate scratches and defects. This was Uno Protect was applied with the LHR 15 Mark III, and we used the medium yellow wool, and this was done all in one application. As you can tell on the image on your screen, this is a before and after of this application of UNO. On the left, you see the scratches and defects. On the right, you see the result after one application. Very dramatic transformation of the surface. We removed defects, we shined and glossed up the paint, and we have laid down a blended wax protection with natural waxes and a cross-linking polymer system. So this is actually a video of that same vehicle and the same surface. You can see as this video plays, it goes across the defects and then onto the after shot of UNO Protect. So this is before and after. Very, very good immediate result. This entire vehicle, a large vehicle, was done in under an hour, probably closer to 35, 40 minutes, completely around the vehicle, and we have achieved this dramatic result to the paint. Now this is example number 2. This is on the other extreme of defects. This is a Dodge Challenger. It was a rental car, a very old rental car, 3 years, which is actually a long time for a rental car to be in circulation and in use. Over 30,000 miles on the vehicle, so a very, very used rental car. This has what we would describe as very severe defects. Now, normally in this particular paint condition, we would consider reaching for a dedicated compound to remove severe defects first, and then use a product like UNO Protect or a second step polish if it was needed. But we wanted to challenge ourselves and the capabilities of UNO Protect, and we really wanted to see what the product could do on these very, very severe defects. This image here that I'm showing now shows you the severity of the defects. Obviously, abusive wash practices done on this, probably with a truck brush, very dirty car here in Colorado, all the time washed between rentals. And this is very, very severe defects. And we put UNO Protect to the test, and we wanted to see what it can do. And as you can see on this image, it produced very dramatic, impressive, in fact, surprising results to us on these very, very severe defects. Now, we will admit that this is not perfect, but very impressive results on these really severe defects. So it points to the capabilities of UNO Protect, that it is no light defect removal. It can go after very, very severe defects. This is a before and after look at the same vehicle. And again, although not perfect results, we're not going to win any awards at a car show, but what it will do is be customer pleasing results, because it transformed these scratches on the left to shiny, clear, protected paint on the image on the right. Very impressive results. We were very happy with this. Now, finally, in this webinar, we'll give you a couple raves and reviews. The product has been tested thoroughly around the world in different types of shops in different countries and different local markets. But this particular quote from a customer was tested against a major national brand of a 3-in-1 or an all-in-one product. So this was tested against a competitor's product of ours, and this particular customer said it removed the defects faster and left a substantially better finish and wiped off easier, had superior water beading and water sheeting, and was all done with the RUPES yellow wool pad. And this is remarkable when you think of wool pad, because normally the expectation with wool is that it is aggressive and it will leave a mark, leave a pad mark. But the combination of our wonderful wool pad technology, which is aggressive at defects but does not leave the pad mark that traditional wool pads leave, but it is a great combination with the Uno Protect product. Does a good all-around performance. So this particular customer is sharing with us that our product performed better than what they were using. Here's another high-volume detail operation. This is a major car dealership chain with many different locations. They tested our Uno Protect product, was described as better than what they were currently using. And this particular customer does over 400 cars per month at this dealership. And they put Uno Protect to the test, and it is now being used daily on over 400 cars per month. And they are very, very, very happy with the results. So with this, we have concluded our content, our presentation here. And what we've done is walked you through the protection category. We defined certain terms, and then we presented our RUPES Uno Protect product, all the details of the features and benefits, and then we walked through its application process and who is the target customer for this product. So we hope you have benefited from this information. We appreciate your time. What we can do now is perhaps take on some questions.
Indeed we can. So lots of good questions from everyone. I have a few for Jason and Fabrizio to answer. Daniel wanted to know how to clean the wool pads correctly and specific to Uno Protect because of the wax that gets embedded in the wool. What is the recommendation for cleaning wool pads after, or I guess during use with Uno Protect?
Okay, I'll take this one, Fabrizio, if you don't mind. During the use of Uno Protect and during the use of the wool pad product, it's best to clean with compressed air. You can also use the RUPES Claw Pad cleaning brush. So that is good recommendation during the application of Uno on the car. You clean that pad with compressed air and it will clean it very, very thoroughly. And then after the vehicle is finished, job done, or our day is done, to clean that wool pad, because it does have waxes and sealants in the fibers, it's actually good to clean it with white vinegar, like a half a cup of white vinegar, either in a sink or in a bucket. You can, bucket wash this, or we also have validated for machine wash and dry. And if you're washing it in a machine washer, then we also recommend the half a cup of vinegar with your detergent to clean these pads. So that's how you would clean those off. And the vinegar is a natural solvent and a natural cleaner, and it will bite through the waxes and polymers and clean that wool pad so that you can use it for the next application.
Very good. So also a reminder, everybody, if you have any questions, you can type those into the Q&A box. I'm collecting those that we can get to today. For you guys, Juan Carlos wanted to know, would you say that this product can perform as a sealant after application? So I believe what he's asking is, can we use this as just a sealant, ignoring the fact that it's a polish? You just needed a product to gloss up the paint and apply protection. Could this be your last step product?
So Fabrizio, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, okay, very well. Thank you, Juan Carlos, for your question. As I told, you have different options in terms of pad choice. So you can use wool if you want to use at best the cutting ability of this product. But you can use foam, especially white foam, which is very soft, if you want to move on the direction of extreme finishing and protection. So what I would tell you is, if you just want to use the protecting ability of the product, then you could choose the 15, 21, or even a rotary machine, and connect it with, combine it with a white soft RUPES foam, and then you will only have some more gloss and a lot of protection. But always remember, before wiping off the product, leave it there for some minutes to settle and to link to the surface.
Very good. Another question about protection. So can a polymer-based sealant or SiO2, silicon dioxide spray, be applied for periodic maintenance? So I guess topping Uno Protect after application, can you put another sealant, or would it be recommended to place another sealant over Uno Protect?
So I can take this one, Fabrizio. The chemistry of Uno Protect lends itself well for topping with other polymer sealants or other cross-linking polymers. The concern I might have for the nano coatings or ceramic coatings is especially soon after application of Uno Protect, there may not be the expectation of quality bonding. But I would say that polymer sealants and any of those polymer sealant sprays, because it's like chemistry with like chemistry, they can bond together to each other. I would caution on applying a ceramic or a nano coating on top of Uno Protect.
All right, and then a question from Dale. He wants to know, how long can you leave the product on a vehicle before wiping it off when used outdoors in the sun, such as in his driveway?
Yeah, so direct sunlight is, generally speaking, with all protection, all those different categories that we talked about in the beginning of this webinar, all the different types of paint protection. Generally speaking, the recommendation is that you don't apply any of those in direct sunlight. But if you have to, the recommendation here is apply it to the whole car. Wipe the wax residue on the shade side. So if you're in direct sunlight, there's a possibility that half of your vehicle is in the shade and the other half is in direct sunlight. So you can take the shade side and wipe the wax residue off, and then turn the vehicle around and wipe that other side off in the shade. The issue you might run into in direct sunlight, because this product has natural solids, it has natural wax solids, is the surface temperature might heat those up and it could become a little bit greasy or hard to wipe off. So ideally, no direct sunlight, but if you have to be in direct sunlight, find the shady side, wipe the residue there, turn the vehicle around and wipe again in the shady side.
I would also probably add, if you don't have any shade to work in, which if you're a mobile detailer, that could potentially be the case, work in smaller sections. The curing process is going to be slightly accelerated because of the heat. So maybe instead of doing the whole vehicle at once, maybe do only a few panels and then wiping the surface so that it doesn't sit and get baked onto the surface for too long.
Yes.
Another question from Catherine is, how long is the durability on the surface? So how long does Uno Protect provide protection?
So Fabrizio?
Yeah, well, we claim it to be up to 90 days. If you follow correctly the correct procedure to apply the product, then you can get up to 90 days. Of course, it's not comparable with paint coating. But of course, also the price and the time requested by Uno Protect is not comparable. So I would say that up to 90 days, it's a good period if the car is well prepared, if the product is well applied, and if the surface is well maintained, then you can get up to 90 days. Of course, if you use aggressive shampoos with very acid pH, or you don't use a proper shampoo dedicated to car wash, then of course the effect of the protection will be dramatically reduced. But up to 90 days, I think it's a good period. It's a good reckoning for the protection given by the Uno Protect.
If I could add to this, the expectation of durability on the other side of the expectation, I have actually personally experienced with one of my personal vehicles that this product can last more than 90 days. And in the situation of a garage kept vehicle and a gently washed, well-maintained vehicle, the protection could actually exceed 90 days. But we have positioned it as a 90-day protection to under-promise and over-deliver on that performance claim.
Very good. All right. We actually have a question about using Uno with a rotary polisher. Would Uno Protect perform well as a correction for buffer trails, i.e. holograms? So can you use Uno Protect to address rotary-induced swirl marks?
Fabrizio?
Well, I think that for my experience, but I want also Jason's opinion on this, we have two main scenarios when Uno Protect is the right product. One, we have seen before from the example given by Jason, car wash brushes, scratches, usually mild scratches, and Uno Protect performs very well. The second one is right. This is holograms. Well, we know that holograms can be more or less severe depending on the pad, depending on the compound that we use. But normally, as a second step, Uno Protect in this very situation, when we only want to remove the light to medium holograms that we might have, in this way, it performs in a very perfect way, and it removes quite quickly the defects, and it also leaves protection.
Yeah, I would add, Fabrizio, that the rotary application method in general, it is paint dependent and technique dependent, and of course pad dependent on how much swirl marks and holograms are left by that tool. So the movement of the tool itself is a movement that can contribute to leaving swirl marks and holograms. And this is also true of the application of Uno Protect. But if all those variables are aligned, it's possible that you can do a one-step application and leave very less visible holograms. But we all have to understand that the rotary application, generally speaking across all products, all pads, has this tendency to leave a circular scratch, and that would also be the case with Uno Protect.
Very good. Just a compliment. Jason would like everybody to know that he loves this product, and he uses it with the yellow wool pad. So thank you, Jason. I have another question. Actually, this is a good one. Can Uno Protect be layered, as in multiple coats? So I guess if you use it as a correction step, could you go back and do it again and get more protection out of the product with a second application?
So Fabrizio, I'd like to take this one. So the layering effect has been a long debate for decades on wax type products. Now this particular chemistry, because it is a cleaner wax, because it's an all-in-one, so it's a very complex formula. It has a lot of bells and whistles. So the product is removing defects, it's creating gloss, and laying down a blended protection of solids and synthetic polymers. Now, if it was a pure wax and had no defect removal expectations, there could be a little bit of layering expectation, but limited to like 2, maybe 3 layers at the most. The problem with a product like this, or not the problem, but the reality of a Uno Protect-like product is that it's intended to remove defects. So if you layered this, the expectation of actually laying down solids and polymers on top of itself is unrealistic, because in addition to laying down those additional solids, you also are removing solids. So the defect removal part of the formula will come into effect every time you try to layer it. So I would say the best recommendation on performance is one application. You're going to get your best application of this particular chemistry. If you wanted to boost the durability and the paint protection, then you can just simply top it with a polymer sealant spray.
Very good. A question from Johan. A 2-step application If the first step is compounding and the second step is UNO, what kind of preparation before the UNO step would we advise, if any? So if you're going to compound with, example, Zephyr, would there be any additional preparation after Zephyr before using UNO as a second step?
Fabrizio, you want to take this? Or I can.
I don't have any particular suggestion. It's a product that you can apply right after at Zephyr application, no problem. If you want to panel wipe, just to see if there's any scratch or mark that remained after the first paint correction step, but after that, you just wipe off the product and you can go right away with UNO Protect.
Yeah, I would agree with Fabrizio's statement here. Isopropyl alcohol or a panel wipe, that removes any polishing oils or particulate like compound residue. That would be good to clean. Also to go to a different clean pad for the application of UNO Protect. The main concern there is you just don't want any compound residue from the first compound step on the surface or on the pad. And then that's easy and good preparation for UNO Protect as a second step.
Good stuff. Just a couple more because we're rolling up here on exactly an hour. Jeff asked that he knows we already mentioned that UNO can be used on all the different machines and with various pads. He wants us to expand a little bit on the various lines. Do we have a different line for rotary and random orbital? I think this is a very short answer. The answer to that question is
no. So UNO Protect, right in the name, actually, UNO is a sub-brand of our product line now. And the UNO for us, what that means is that it's one product that can be applied across all those different tool movements and all those different systems. So that's, yeah, the answer is it can be applied all the variety of ways we have outlined on this webinar.
Jason, the question was longer. There was also, do you have as RUPES dedicated compounds for different machines? To this, the answer is yes. We have a line for dual action random orbital. We have a line for dual action gear driven and one for rotary. So I invite you to try them all and see which one is your favorite.
Yes, currently the only universal product in the RUPES family is UNO Protect. So that is the only one we're recommending across all systems currently.
Got you. Okay.
We have a question from Dino. He wants to know if we would recommend using UNO Protect with a microfiber finishing pad on medium to hard paint.
I would say yes. In fact, hard paint, microfiber pads in general, the harder the paint, the better microfiber pad works. So yeah, that's actually a good application for UNO Protect on hard paint.
All right, and that is it for questions. I'm going to answer the last couple in text, but you go ahead and take us out, guys.
Okay, so we want to thank you for participating in and viewing this webinar. Some of you are viewing it on demand later, some of you are viewing live, but on screen here is we have our touch points from our company and our global headquarters in Milan, Italy. Those are all the different ways that you can interact with our company. And then on the right side of your screen, our North American headquarters. Those are all the different ways that you can interact with our company there. So if you're viewing this on demand, you can actually pause this video and capture some of those touch points, and you can reach out to us. We are a company that believes in education, and we want your questions, we want your comments, so we hope to interact with you on some of these various ways. So with that, I would like to thank our whole entire webinar team, both in Italy and in Colorado. And Fabrizio, you did a fantastic job as usual, and I want to thank all of our participants. So thank you so much.
Thank you also from my side. Thank you.